Okay, so I like to break down emotions into three categories to simplify it for myself. So the first category is what's called vehement emotions. Vehement emotions? Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. These are survival emotions. These are emotions that come online when your nervous system believes that it is in imminent danger. There's danger right here, right now. There's a car coming at me. And so it has to activate a strong enough emotion inside, a strong enough dashboard indicator to change your physiology really quick and mobilize you to do something about it. So these emotions are like terror. They are kind of like blind rage, or they could be panic, not just a little bit of panic in your chest, but like panic attack panic. These emotions are so strong, they're visceral reactions in our body to the point that our nervous system, our logical brain actually kind of shuts down and has a hard time processing them. And so in order to like sort of change these emotions, we first really need to attend to how our body's feeling, and we need to slow down our nervous system, because that intensity prevents us from sitting and processing these emotions properly. So with these emotions, we slow down our body. We might do some grounding, we might do some breathing, we might sort of try to kind of reorient ourselves to something that is safe. And then once we've done that, then we can explore and sit with the emotion of, that was really, really scary, But without that, because they're so intense in the moment, then it's actually hard to integrate them. Category number 2. These are patterned emotions. Sometimes people refer to them as habitual emotions, sometimes secondary emotions. I just like to call them my go-to emotions because they're literally my go-to emotions. These are emotions that we learned to feel. We've been socialized to feel these emotions based on our family of origin, what was modeled, what was accepted, what was punished. This is our, like I said, go-to emotion. It is the place we go instead of what we truly feel, which is the third category, our core emotions or primary emotions. We have these go-to emotions because they're less vulnerable to show. They are a little bit more socially acceptable. And to be honest, in certain cultures and certain family dynamics, they're just reinforced. So for instance, in certain cultures, guilt is the thing to feel. Like whatever you feel, whatever's coming up, you just might feel guilty time and time again, even though that's not what you're feeling, but you've been socially imposed to feel guilty. So patterned emotion, what we want to do with them is we want to try to kind of like dissect them and try to understand what's really underneath it, because this is what we are feeling. And if we always show with that patterned emotion, it's kind of like if your dashboard indicator is showing the engine sign, whether you need an oil change or I don't know, like a tire, your tire is flat. If your dashboard indicator is showing always the same thing, if you're always showing with irritability, no matter what you feel, whether you feel vulnerable or scared or anxious or angry, well, it's going to be really hard to sort of sit with yourself, but also for the world outside to actually kind of attend to you. So what we want to do with patterned emotion is what we want to understand what's the core emotion right underneath it. Core emotions. These are emotions that we would really truly feel if the world, if everything was safe, if we were told we can feel whatever we want to feel, and we lived in this perfect little fairy tale world, then we would actually just feel our core emotions and sit with them. Core emotions, sort of, you've probably heard of this, that there is sort of like almost like they're broken down into like 6. There's sadness and a whole lot of variations of different types of sadness. There is disgust and shame, a whole lot of variations of that. There is anger, bunch of variations on that. What else is there? Surprise, excitement, that's another core emotion, and a whole bunch of variations underneath that. What am I missing? Joy, that's another one, and fear, that's the last one. So core emotions are what we want to try to orient towards in terms of building emotional awareness, because core emotions tell us about our needs, and they're much easier to process and navigate, and they're a better way to actually operate in the world.